Hi guys, James back with another video, and this one was the last, not the very last, but the last in this series at the moment for Hidden Gems Spotlight, because it was the last one I had when I had done one, thought of another, and then had done the third one, and then made a list of two more. The second last of which was Child of God that I did yesterday. And this one is, if you clicked on it, you know the title. It's a UK film called Human Traffic. It takes place in Wales. Now, I know there's another movie or miniseries called Human Traffic or Human Trafficking. This is not that. And I'm likely going to do another one or go back to the list, then come back to this. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's nice to have options. Anyway, this was another one that I hadn't yet fit into one of my previous lists, but I kept coming back to it being one that I really wanted to talk about. So, here we are. Now, this is a film from 1999, and as I said, UK-Irish production, takes place in Wales, Cardiff, Wales, to be specific. And it's generally about a group of 5 friends that are kind of like club kids. They're into partying and music and drugs and stuff like that, and mostly dancing in clubs and big parties. That's where most of them met. Now you've got Jip, played by John Sim. The only other thing I'd seen him in was a movie called Miranda with Christina Ricci, which I didn't really find that interesting. You've got Lorraine Pilkington playing Lulu. I hadn't seen her in anything else. Or Nicola Reynolds playing Nina. You've got Sean Parks playing Coop, and the only other movie I saw him in was Mummy Returns. And he's sort of the pilot that Brendan Fraser's character ropes into helping them. You see him, he's got like the eye patch and the gold tooth and stuff. Kind of looks like a pirate. And the last guy is Danny Dyer playing Moth, and he's been in plenty of UK productions, but one of the ones I remember him from, he did a voice in the PlayStation 2 game Grand Theft Auto Vice City, one of my personal favorite games. Anyway, now so those are the 5 guys. You've got Jip and Lulu are best friends, and Moth is another one of his friends. Coop is in a relationship with Nina. Now Coop's like notoriously jealous of Nina, even though they're in love. And Jip and Lulu are sort of best friends, but they have that tension there, where you don't know, they're best friends, but you know they're going to get together someday. Or at least some point in the movie. And it sort of goes from party to party to club to club to club. I think it takes place over the span of a weekend. And whether or not you're familiar with UK dance music or techno music, from what I could tell, it's really not all that different from around here. Depending on which movies you've seen or what music you listen to. And they try to get into this notorious club, I think called the Asylum, and Jip ends up lying his way in, and they have a great time at the party. There's one clip that I think is pretty hysterical, and it's sort of there's this anchor, journalist, broadcast guy, and he's sort of a reporter, and he's broadcasting live from the asylum. And he's just like talking about the people here and blah blah blah, what's going on, blah blah. And he ends up like the music's going on behind him, and he finishes. It's only about like a minute and a half long spiel that he gives, and you just see him. He finishes what he's saying. He's just looking around. And he just starts doing this. And he's like dancing along with the crowd, and then it moves on to something else. But I thought it was pretty hilarious that the news guy gets in on the music while he's there. Whether or not that's actually happening, I don't know. But the kind of movie it is, you think it is. There's also plenty of voiceover by Jip, who's the main character. But you have all 5 of them at one point or another talking right to the camera. And it happens early in the movie where they're all introducing themselves, sort of giving the rundown of who they are and what they're doing in their lives. And that happens throughout the movie. So if that bothers you, it might not be the movie for you. But I personally really enjoy voiceover and characters that break the fourth wall. Deadpool, Deadpool 2, most famously Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Another personal favorite of mine. And they all have their own issues. Like Jip is sort of, I don't know if he says he's impotent, but he's sort of like sexually frustrated. Feels he can't perform. Lulu has her issues with her boyfriend Coop, where he's notoriously jealous of her. But Coop also has, his dad is he's committed in the hospital because he at some point kind of lost it. He thinks he's receiving transmissions from a UFO, and he believes his son is actually 2 identical twins pretending to be his son. Moth has troubles because he's still living at home and his parents are concerned about him getting involved in drugs, and Lulu's sort of just struggling to be an independent woman who just wears makeup because she wants to, not because they think she should. And I apologize if there's not as much to talk about in this movie as the previous, but you get the same kind of vibe as parts of Trainspotting, the lively parts of Trainspotting, not the dismal, dreary parts or the heroin and stuff. But you also have a great party scene where they're all off. Jip and Coop are off here talking about their lives, and Lulu and Nina are off talking about orgasms and sex and stuff like that. Moth is having a conversation with, and I'd forgotten about this, Richard Coyle, the actor I told you about, who's in Prince of Persia, but more notably played Jeff in the BBC sitcom Coupling. And they're having a philosophical, because they're getting high and drunk and stuff like that. They're having a philosophical discussion about Star Wars and like what all this mean, what all the characters mean, and what they're really doing, which sort of starts to spiral down and peter out as they sober up. And another thing I had forgotten about, I'm going through the cast list, and you have the director has a cameo, a famous DJ has a cameo as the club owner of the asylum that they're trying to get into. But I had forgotten that there's a character named Felix in the movie. I can't remember what he does in the movie because it's been a little while since I watched it. I was going to rewatch it for this, but I didn't leave myself enough time, and I wanted to do this video for you guys. But Felix is played by Andrew Lincoln of, some might say, Love Actually, but more notably, he plays played Rick on The Walking Dead. And he's in the movie, because I believe this is 1999 this movie came out, so it's well before Love Actually, and I believe well before Love Actually, and well before The Walking Dead. Let me just confirm that. I'm trying to remember what year Love Actually was in. Love Actually was 2003, so 4 years before Love Actually, and about 11 years before The Walking Dead. Anyway, so now I've heard that there's a remix. There's a sort of like a remix version of the movie, sort of like what they did with. They call it a remix. What they did with Empire Records remix. And this was Human Traffic remixed, and I guess it's sort of an alternate cut of the movie. But I think it's only available at the moment in the UK. I haven't looked it up. It could be available on Amazon or somewhere online. I don't know. I would like to see it because this one was just, I believe I had seen the trailer. I had seen the trailer and it looked interesting, and I had taken it home a few times when I worked at Rogers, and I may have, because I did this a few times when I worked at Rogers. I special ordered it for myself and got the DVD that way. Because it's not one I think you'd find in many stores, unless you're in like something like Cinema One and you go to the international section. So you'd probably find it there, because I don't know if it's that well known, but probably fairly popular in the UK. Let me see if there's something else I can say about this. Aside from it's just a lot of fun, a lot of great music, a lot of great acting, a lot of funny situations in the movie, and just the I want to say the camaraderie, the bond that all five of the friends have is super strong throughout the movie, and they even. Jip even says, like, he met Moff last year at a rave, and they just hit it off right away, and they're gonna be best friends. They're gonna be best friends forever. And he started clubbing with Lulu, and she's another one who's always gonna be his friend and stuff. So, yeah, I think that might be it. I can just say I highly recommend it, not only for the music, but the acting, and I guess the style that the movie is shot in. Just all the actors in your face talking right to you and then going about their business and stuff. It's just very well done. So I guess that's where I'll cut it off. It's a fairly short one, but I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to recommend it to you guys, and I hope you enjoy it, because I had hours of enjoyment from it, and yeah. So I'm currently out of ideas for further spotlights, but I know I'll find some other ones that I've left off lists before, and I have at least two lists written down, and maybe a third one that needs a little tweaking. So as soon as I have those ready to go, I'll work on getting those to you guys. So, alright, so like and subscribe, comment, suggestions, statements of overwhelming brilliance. Anyway, I'll talk to you next time. Toodles.